guys, what's going on? Dr. Gonzo O'Boogie back again for another video, and happy Friday the 13th to everybody out there. One of my favorite holidays because it's the perfect excuse to marathon all of the Friday the 13th films, which are some of my favorite horror films. And what I'm going to do in this video is just go through and show you guys my entire Friday the 13th collection. So let's get started. Alright guys, let's start off over here. I have a few Friday the 13th memorabilia things going on over here. First off, as you guys might have noticed, I got this awesome Friday the 13th hockey mask up here. And actually, I picked this up at Rite Aid last year around Halloween time, and I bought it when they had all their Halloween stuff half off. And I only paid $3 for that thing, and it's a pretty good looking Jason mask, probably one of the best ones I've ever seen for that price, so real happy with that. I have it hanging right in front of a pretty cool Pink Floyd poster that has the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, like all tinted in green. It's really cool poster. It actually came with the Dark Side of the Moon record, so that's an original poster from back in the 70s, but enough about that. Back to the Friday the 13th stuff. Really cool mask there, but actually you guys might be able to see here, this is actually an autograph from Kane Hodder. I got this a long time ago when I was a lot younger. I was probably like, I would say like 14, 15 when I sent him a little bit of fan mail. I had sent him a comic book that I had drawn that had Jason in it, and he sent me back this autograph. So this is an autograph that I got for free. Really happy with that. That was the first autograph that I ever added to my collection, and just really cool stuff there. And actually under there, nothing to do with Jason, but that's a picture of me and my brother meeting George Romero. Really cool stuff there. Still can't believe that happened, but let's move on. There's my fat cat over there hanging around. Let's move on to the VHS tapes. Actually, these might be a little bit hard to see. The lighting isn't the best over here, but I actually have all 8 of the Friday the 13th films on VHS tape, and I used to rent the Friday the 13th films on VHS all the time when I was younger at the local video store, so I have a lot of good nostalgic memories of watching the Friday films on tape, so I'm really glad that I own them all on tape now, and every once in a while I will watch my VHS tapes of the Friday the 13th films, mostly just for nostalgic reasons. But let me go through these really quick. The first Friday the 13th film, and again the lighting is pretty bad here, so I'm just going to kind of go through these quick. But I have all 8 of these on VHS tape. Really cool stuff here. The second one, you guys get the idea. I got all 8 of those. Really cool stuff there. Some of my favorite tapes in my VHS collection. But let's move over here to the main part of my collection. And some of the first Friday the 13th Jason related things I have over here are some of my Friday the 13th action figures that NECA put out. Some of my favorite toys in my whole collection. I have the Ultimate Friday the 13th Part 3 and 4 figures that they put out. I have those outside of the packages because I just needed to display those like that. I think they look really cool like that too. But actually in the package behind them is the Friday the 13th video game inspired figure that NECA put out. That's actually not the Comic-Con or Toy Fair exclusive, whichever it was originally. That's the re-release they put out a few years back, but still another one of my favorite toys in my entire collection. So really cool stuff there. I'm sure you guys have seen those figures before. Just some of the best Jason figures to ever get put out there. Just really great detail on those. If you guys want to see me talk a little bit more in depth about those, there's actually a playlist on my YouTube channel for all my action figure reviews and stuff like that, and I actually have reviews of both of those Jason figures, so you guys can check those out. I'll try to leave links to those if you guys want to watch those. But let's move on to the Blu-rays. Actually, this is a recent pickup. I picked this up probably like a just a week or two ago, so this is really a recent pickup. I haven't even showed this yet in a newer update video, but I picked this up, saw this at FYE, a store that I frequent a lot, and this is the Friday the 13th Blu-ray collection. It comes with all 8 of the Friday the 13th films in this nice little Blu-ray package. And actually before this, I didn't have any of the Friday the 13th films on Blu-ray, so I was really happy to get all of them in this nice little cool looking Blu-ray set here. The artwork isn't the best on this, but you can't complain about the artwork when it comes with 8 of my favorite horror films, and you know, just good quality, high definition transfers of all 8 of these films. And actually, I plan on marathoning the Friday the 13th films tonight, and I was gonna go through this Blu-ray set for the first time, so really cool stuff there. Actually, back in the day, like a few years ago, probably like 3-4 years ago, excuse me, I actually had all of the Friday the 13th 2-packs on Blu-ray, the ones that came with part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I had all of those Blu-ray 2-packs, but I actually sold those for some random reason. And then probably like a few months after I sold them, they just went like really high up in price. And I was like, damn it. I'm like, I should have never sold those. But really glad to get all these films back on Blu-ray. Cool stuff here. Friday the 13th Blu-ray set. So let's move on to the Friday the 13th DVDs, which I have a lot of my slasher films in this one section of my DVD shelf right here, down here, and they start off with the Friday the 13th films, because like I've said a few times in this video already, these are probably some of my favorite horror films ever. So first off here is this really cool Friday the 13th DVD box set. This is called the Ultimate Collection, limited edition to, let me fix the focus here, show you guys that. Mine is limited, mine's like 25,000 out of 50,000, so that's pretty cool. I know this is kind of a rare set. I've looked this up on eBay, and I've seen this going for like over $100 brand new. Mine is actually open. I just like kind of cut the plastic on the top to open it up, but it's still basically sealed. I've actually only opened this up once when I first bought it. Just wanted to take a look at it, see all the cool stuff it came with. Really cool set. Comes with a mask. The mask is a bit small, so you can't actually wear it for a Jason mask. I mean, I guess you could, but it would look kind of small on you, so that was a little bit disappointing, but I guess they had to size it down a little bit just to fit in the set nicely. But really cool set here. I actually picked this up at a Dollar General for 25 bucks. It was just hanging around there, so I could not believe that. Awesome stuff here. Really cool set. Comes with all 8 of the deluxe edition DVDs in this one set. It's a really nice looking set inside of this. Actually, I think you guys can see it on the back a little bit there. Comes with a mask, nice little set with all the DVDs inside, and you know, booklet type thing. Comes with the 3D glasses for part 3, which I've never been able to get to work good, but you know, either way, really cool set there. Let's move on. Next up here is the classic Friday the 13th box set. This is my favorite, probably my favorite box set in my entire collection. I bought this thing brand new when it first came out. I actually had to re-buy it since then, but I've had this in my collection for a while. Well, you guys can see that it's not in the best shape. Little dings and danks hanging around on it. Picked it up used at FYE. But originally when this set came out, I picked it up brand new. Like I said, I've had to re-buy it since then. I rebought it probably like 5 years back, something like that. But this is just my favorite, probably my favorite DVD box set ever. It comes with all 8 of the Friday the 13th films. They're split up. The first 2 films are on the first disc. 3 and 4 second disc, 5, 6 third disc. You guys get the idea. It's got some really good extras on the bonus disc there. Actually, some of my favorite extras that ever come with any of the Friday the 13th films. Just a great looking set. Love everything about this box set. And even with the Blu-ray set that I have now, this is probably still my preferred or favorite way to go through and watch all 8 of the Friday the 13th films. So next up here is the Jason Collection set. Excuse me again. These films I sort of am slightly nostalgic for, because when I was growing up and first getting into the Friday the 13th films, Jason Goes to Hell was the newest one that had come out, so I remember renting that one a lot from the video store, and back in the day I had no problems with it. And out of all 3 of these films, I would say Jason Goes to Hell might be the best one. It's a tough choice because neither of these 3 films, I think, come anywhere close to matching the charm of the original 8 films, but they're different in their own way, and I do have fun watching these 3 films, but I just don't think they're as good as the original 8. And if you guys are wondering, I actually do not own a copy of that Friday the 13th remake in my collection at all. I thought that remake was garbage, and it didn't need to happen, and I literally hate that film, and I would not add it into my collection unless I was just desperate to add something to my Friday the 13th collection. But back to this set. This is a nice little set. They put this out a while ago to kind of be a companion with this Friday the 13th set. And I'm really glad that I have both of these in my collection. Always wanted both of these in my collection back in the day, and they look real nice next to each other on the shelf. Jason X I saw in theaters when it first came out with my buddy Joel. That was pretty cool. And Freddy vs. Jason, I was super hyped about that movie when it first came out, and you know, picked it up on DVD, watched it like a million times. But recently I've kind of grown out of kind of liking that film. I don't watch it quite as much, even though I do think it is a fun film, and it's cool that they did one of those versus films, because they don't do too many films like that. You know, you got King Kong versus Godzilla, a few other ones, so it's always cool when they take 2 classic monsters or horror icons and throw them together into one movie. Always cool. But again, like I said, I just love the first 8 Friday films so much that I think that's kind of tainted my enjoyment of these 3. Alright, next up for the DVDs, this is actually the DVD box set that is basically the same as this Blu-ray box set. It's got the same artwork, and just this comes with the first 8 films, of course, my favorites. And these are basically the same like deluxe edition DVDs that come with this Friday the 13th box set. So I didn't really need to pick this up, but I saw it at Walmart for like $10, $15 or something like that. I was like, might as well grab that just to bulk out the Friday collection a little bit. Add another box set to it, which this is a really nice box set. I know some of the older Friday box sets are kind of hard to get now, so I mean, if you guys are looking for a cheap way to get all 8 films quick, highly recommend looking up this set. It's a really nice set. And then last for the DVDs, I have the first 4 films separate on DVD, and the only reason I've held on to these is because I love how they use the original artwork on these. They just look so good. I think that every release of the Friday the 13th films should just use the original movie posters, because they're so good, and they rarely do that. It makes no sense to me at all, because the movie posters are so much better than the artwork they come up with nowadays. But I always loved these editions of the Friday the 13th films. I've had these in my collection forever, and I don't plan on ever getting rid of these, because I just love the artwork so much. I love how all the DVDs are like black artwork with red borders on them, and they use the original fonts and everything. Just some of my favorite DVDs in my entire collection. Just love these. Really cool stuff here, but let's move on from the movies. So that is actually it for my Friday the 13th like DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS collection, but I do have a few more things in my Friday the 13th collection, so I'll just go through that real quick and show you guys what I got over here. So over here, this is my record shelf sort of. I got all my vinyl record collection, and I also have some books and comic books. But up here I have a stack of old magazines, and I have an old issue of Fangoria from the early 80s that highlights on Friday the 13th Part 2, and this actually comes with a pretty cool poster for Friday the 13th Part 2 inside of this. Love classic Fangoria magazines. Excuse me. And this is probably one of my favorite ones in my collection. I mean, I love the cover for that. The Mrs. Voorhees head sitting inside the refrigerator. Just one of my favorite scenes from the whole series. Love this right here. Alright, next I have a few Friday the 13th comic books. Actually, I've never read these. Somebody gave these to me for free one day. I think it was my brother. And these were from what company put these out? I have no idea, honestly. Like I said, I never read these Wild Storm comics. Is that what it says up there? Yeah, Wild Storm Comics. Jeez, that is a not that great of a comic book company name. But yeah, these are some Friday the 13th comics they put out. Like I said, I've never read these. If you guys have read these, definitely let me know if they're any good down in the comments. Maybe I'll flip through them real quick one day. I have a few of these. Friday the 13th, Badland. Honestly, have no idea what these are about. Friday the 13th, issue 1, A New Era in Horror Begins. Like I said, never read these, have no idea what they're about. Artwork isn't bad on these, but still, they don't look that interesting to me. This is like a era of comic books, like early 2000s, that just doesn't have too much appeal or charm to me. That was when I grew up reading comic books, but looking back on them now, they're like all the artwork is just very muddy and dark looking. I mean, it's not bad, but just you know what I'm saying. But never read these, not sure if they're any good. But one of these days I might have to flip through those. I actually used to have a few Jason Goes to Hell comics back in the day that I think were put out by Topps, the company that makes trading cards and stuff like that, but I actually don't own those anymore. But would love to pick those up for the collection again. But last thing, I'm pretty sure this is the last thing for my Friday the 13th collection, is a book. And this was something that I didn't even know existed until I found it at a thrift store. This is a Friday the 13th like young adult book. Like, you know, you would find these like in the Goosebumps section, I guess. And this was a series that they put out. I forget which company put this out. One of those book companies, like. But yeah, this is pretty cool. They put out a few Friday the 13th books. This is the first one, Mother's Day. They did, I think, 3 or 4 of these. They're kind of hard to find, and I don't plan on ordering any of these off eBay or anything like that, because people sell them for like 20, 30, 40 bucks each. But if I see any more of these at the thrift stores, definitely gonna pick them up. I think the same company also put out Nightmare on Elm Street books too, so I would love to grab a few of those for my collection. But just really obscure, probably the most obscure thing in my entire Friday the 13th collection, just because I didn't know and existed. And this is like actually Friday the 13th licensed. It's like the real deal here, you know, you got the hockey mask and everything like that. So really cool stuff here. But alright guys, I think that was it for this video. Like always, if you guys enjoyed it, definitely give it a big thumbs up or leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.